Young Pierre, young Pierre, young
Now, this is a story all about how my life got twisted upside down. And I'd like to take a minute, just sit right here and tell you how I became that girl who did 4 majors there. Yeah, you heard me. 4. So, if you are interested in finding out about this story time, then just keep watching. Story time. I pretty much wanted to explain to you guys how I came to the point of where I'm at right now when it comes to my career and success, I would say. So, coming out of high school, I think I was determined. Like, I knew, like, hey, I wanted to be a dermatologist because having been someone who would have suffered with skin problems for a long time in terms of when I say skin problems, as in keratosis, pilaris, and I think that was the main thing that bothered me at that time. And I saw my friends suffer with acne and so forth. It was like, I want to come up with these solutions. Like, I feel like I was gonna be the problem solver. I was gonna bring all the solutions for these skin problems, and it would be the end of it, you know? So I was determined that I wanted to be a dermatologist. And so therefore, after high school, I decided, okay, I want to go to Martinique and I want to study, I want to do science. I could lead into that. One problem though, in high school though, I had done economics, so this was gonna be a transition for me. Like, how are you gonna do that? But I was determined, like, I could do this. Like, I'm gonna prove it to myself and others that I could do this. So now gone Martinique, everything, living on my own. My best friend moves there with me, so it's just both of us, but we're not really doing the same thing. So it's like just me. You know, if you have that support and that help, it's a little different. So I started going to school, everything. I'm like, okay. From class to class, it's like, okay. You have teachers saying things like, yeah, I'm not gonna go over this because you guys would have already done this. That's in physics and chemistry classes. So you're like, what if you haven't though? Anyways, I tried to continue and do it everything. I would contact someone in particular who did science and who was doing the same class as me, just in Guadeloupe instead. I would hit him up and be like, listen, this is what I got, I need help. He would try to help me the best way possible, like over the phone or however we could communicate via social media. But I wasn't really helping. I mean, it didn't tell me like I can't stop, I can't give up. I was still like, I go into my classes, I need to grasp as much as I can. Then one day, one night, I just laying down and I'm like, I can't breathe though. It's like, what's going on exactly? And I found myself every time like I would lay down, like I wouldn't be able to breathe properly, and I was like really strained. I'm like, I feel like I'm getting out of breath. So that night in particular, things went like downhill or downhill. Like, I really couldn't breathe, and my best friend was panicking at the time. And then so she decided like to call the neighbors upstairs and stuff. Or I think I went up to them actually. I think I went up to them telling them I couldn't breathe, so they were trying to call the ambulance for me. And at that point, like I feel like I passed, and now everything like can't breathe, hyperventilating, like fainting type of spells that we're going through. And they were like, arguing with ambulance, like, come, da, da, da. The ambulance is like, does she have insurance? Da, da, da. And they're like, are you serious? Like, come and get her. We tell you, like, things serious. So I went to the ambulance, whatever. They checked me out. They're like, I went to the hospital, sorry. Checked me out. They're like, nothing's wrong with her. I'm like, nothing wrong with me. So what's going on? Next day now trying to sleep, experiencing the same thing. Not to the point that I'm to go to hospital, but can't breathe. So I'm like, this is strange. My mom like, go to the doctor. Gone to the doctor. The doctor's like, it's probably stress. I'm like, stress? I'm not stressed. Stressed about what? What? I'm chicken that young. You ain't got no problems. Why stress? Anyways, I kept going to class or whatever. But after that would have happened, like my mom was kind of scared, so she was like, she coming up. So she came up, and then one day while I was at school, like I really wasn't understanding something in my physics class. And then I found myself like starting to feel sick and like starting to feel the same feeling. So like I left class and like went home. I told my mom, she was like, it probably is stress, you know, like maybe you're feeling overwhelmed with the class and stuff. Gone to Martin now, gone to the doctor, and he's like, nothing's wrong with you, so it's definitely stress. I'm like, why you guys keep telling me about stress? I can't feel it. And he's like, you don't always feel it like that, you know. So at that point was where I was like, okay, this probably ain't for me. Like I tried it, but if it's gonna bring me to the point of being physically sick, then nah, I'm moving back home. So dad came up Martinique, everything. Sister, everybody helped me move, give up my stuff, I spent a year at least, and then moved back to Martin. So I decided to start university, you know, USM. So I'm like, okay, let me do that. You know, in the meanwhile, let me do that. So I doing that and stuff. I was going quite fine. Like I made friends and it was cool, it was fun. But then one day I was starting to think like I should be in France, like I should be like in the French system. Like what am I doing? And then somehow my dad like called me to talk to me. He was like, you ever thought about going to France? I was like, actually I had been thinking about it. And he was like, I really do think that you should consider. Then we started to both do our own research, and my father like he was trying to send me Belgium. I'm like, Belgium to do what? I don't even know where that is. Like he was trying to send me Europe. Let me see, cause yeah, it's not the same. I'm like, it's okay. Then so I had cousins in France. I was like, you know what, I'll go where they are, cause that way I could get help like with setting up and so forth. So boom, that was like the August my dad talk about that. The September was like, I going. So 1 month to get things prepared, 1 month to try to get to the school, all of that. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go back to economics. Because I remember in high school, like, you know, I did economics, but the part, like the social economics, where you learn about Marx and Weber and them, I guess that's the French pronunciation. So I was like, I like that. So my friend was telling me that she was doing it up in Paris. So she was like, yeah, I'm doing something and it's under this name, and you should do it down there. So I found that name, started doing that, and it was like, oh, but what is all this math? And she was like, math? I was like, what is all these? So you know when you start to introduce letters into your math, is like, no, I can't mix the two. No, let's not do this. So that was I'm like, another thing I don't understand. Then they have things, then they had subject. I'm like, this is not for me. Like I was like, this ain't for me again. Like I was really feel like I would disappoint my parents. It was like, I can change again. But my parents are always the ones to be like, do what you need to do, you know? They've always been that type, like, do what you have to do for you to be comfortable, you to be good. They're not gonna be type to be like, stick it out of the door, like, you have to, I spending my money. That ain't my parents, okay? That ain't my padres. So, they were like, so what do you want to do? So then there was like this forum for like, jobs. So I went to that and I was like looking around at the different things where they were talking about. I was like, okay, maybe fashion, maybe cosmetology, because I was into those type of things. I was like, but then when I came to the spot about air hostess, I'm like, look at you. I'm like, air hostess, yes. That was like sounded so lit. But they were proposing like a bachelor's, and I was like, I don't want to do a bachelor's. So I started to look it up, and then I found this other school where it was like a shorter period of time and you could, you know, accomplish the same thing. So I was like, I should do this. So then I signed up for that, and to tell you, I fell in love with that. Like my friends, they were not even tired of me talking about it like every day. Like they were actually enjoying learning the things that I was learning. It was like this super thick folder, and you had to like cram these bunch of stuff constantly. Like there's a test or a theoretical test every few days or whatever, so you like constantly having to learn this bunch of content. And it was like, it, you know, it was like a lot, but I didn't feel like it because I was really becoming passionate about this thing. So that was the theoretical part. In order to do the practical now, I had to go Paris for a few, I can't remember how long, but I had to go Paris. So I stayed at a hotel, my friend was up there with me, was doing a training. That training was hard. When I tell you, I struggled to pull my friend by you know, of course I'm on a life jacket or whatever. I struggled to pull her, and she just pulled me like I was not, and she was super short. I was like, okay, that was a struggle. So that was fine. But I mean, in terms of swimming and all that was fine, but pulling wasn't good because I had trained for like, I don't know, over a month. I had one friend who was consistently going with me to the pool, because we were like, okay, I have to be ready, I have to be able to swim fast and be able to handle this. So we were going like pool constantly, like doing this swimming thing. So when we arrived that first day for that practical part, they were like, in the pool, swim to the end. I was like, okay, you get ready, you know. So did that. When it was time for the exam now, did it, whatever. It was honestly, it was not easy because you had to be able to put out a fire. You had to walk through a plane that was like totally dark and like find your way and go to the I don't know what you call it, the thing, and talk on it and tell the passengers to remain calm, blah. Then they would give you a situation like, okay, this is how the plane crashed. Explain to me all the steps, and you like had to talk like this is what happened first. Then you do this and and it was like I had learned it, but it was honestly, it felt really pressured in that moment. When Max and Martin got a result, I was like, oh, I didn't pass. That was discouraging. I was like, I could probably, still do this. And I was ready to take it up again, but then I was like, something new again. At this point, I was like, okay, listen, I feel like I can't get through anything. Let's do English. Now, you good at English. You good at English. So let's try this. Started that. So I started my bachelor's in English. And I can say the first semester so far, I was like, in the sense where I was like, is this what I really signed up for? But nonetheless, I was like, there was certain subject that I really enjoyed, so I was like, I'm gonna stick this one out. So went along. First semester, I was like kind of getting used to some of the things, like how they were talking about analyzing books and so forth, or stories. I didn't really get to the first semester. Second semester, so I was like, oh, so sometimes just be me and my teacher like having a big conversation about this thing. That was the point when I got it. I was like, I know how to do this now. So now third, fourth semester, I was like, it was going smooth. So I did 2 years there, and then when it was gonna be my third year to get my bachelor's, I was like, let me come back home, because I felt like I had been away long enough, and I felt like I was putting strain on my parents. I was like, let me try to do the last year by correspondence or online. So I came back home and actually did that, and I got through, and then I got my job. So I managed to get my job as a teacher, although I didn't really have much experience and so forth. Someone told me about it, and I was like, okay, let me go. And then the interview went well, and I got it. So I say all that to say, for my teens or even grown people or whatever, you may have tried certain things and you maybe didn't get through or whatever, but don't let that stop you. Like, even if you have to make changes, don't let it discourage you from still pursuing your end goal or still pushing yourself to accomplish something, that you could be proud about. Because I mean, the other things didn't work out, and I could have stopped at some point and be like, okay, school just ain't for me. Let me just go find a job and just do that. But instead, I was like, okay, this one ain't working. Next one. Oh, this one. Okay, this didn't work out. Okay, next one. And then I finally found that thing that I was passionate about, and I kind of realized that my calling was teaching all along. Like, those other things I feel like didn't work out for a reason, because this is where I kind of had to be at. Because even in my interview, they were asking me questions like, had you ever taught before? And I was like, well, I was a youth meeting teacher at that time, and then I had been teaching dance from online. While I was in France, I was like sending videos of dances, and I would have to like do the instructional one where I like broke down the moves slower so that I could send it to them and have them like learn the dances. And I would watch them on Skype practicing the dance and all those things. So I felt like slowly but surely I was like becoming this teacher through just regular things that I loved, so being around youths and dancing. So it was like, life was just pushing me in that direction. So yeah, so then I came to the point of where I'm at right now, where it's like I'm going into my 6th year of teaching, and it's great. It's challenging, can't say it's challenging, but it's actually really enjoyable, and I'm happy that I never gave up and I finally found that thing that I was passionate about. So to my young people, I hope that you guys find what you're I hope that you find your feel fast, and that you stick with it, and that it ends up being just one. But if you end up being someone like me who ends up doing something first and you maybe don't like it, I hope that you could remember me and be like, I remember Miss Flanders, I remember Nadi, and like, she didn't get through with the first thing, but she finally came to that place. So my encouragement is not to give up, whether it comes to school or finding that dream job or having that dream business. Maybe you tried different ones before and you didn't find it, or they didn't work out. Like, keep going, keep pushing. You're gonna come to the place where you're gonna be truly happy, and you'll be able to realize that other things didn't work out for whatever reason, because you were meant to be exactly where you're meant to be and at that exact time. So I thank you guys for taking the time to listen to this story time, and I hope that you were inspired, encouraged, motivated, all those good words, you know. So I'll see you